Okay, we are under the front passenger side of a Volkswagen Routan 2009, very similar to a Dodge Caravan, and I am just trying to see if I can do a full oil change with the car completely on the ground. So I am behind the passenger side wheel here, kind of on the front corner, and I've loosened the plug now, and I'm backing it out, finger tight, and any second now. There we go, there's the oil coming out. I'll let that drain for a minute. And while we're waiting for the oil to drain, wow, that pan's full already. This thing takes a lot of oil. I'm gonna get my big pliers here. Let's see. That would be tighten. This should be loosen. There we go. Got her moving. Let's see. What do we have here last? Luber Finer. I don't think I've ever heard of that brand name. I'm guessing that's from the Mr. Lube, probably their own host brand, as I know the person who owns this usually goes to Mr. Lube or one of those, Jiffy Lube maybe. Either way, we'll let that drain for a little bit and come back and close it back up. Okay, it's been 4 or 5 minutes at least. The oil filter is down to a slow drip. We are going to just remove that completely. Still quite a bit in there. All right, that should do it. Well, looks like I gotta wait for that to drain a little more. In the meantime, I'm gonna grab the new filter, dip my finger in the brand new oil, give a light coating to the rubber seal on the new filter. I like using brand name filters that I might trust a little. Just gonna wipe off some of this drippy mess. A little wipe. There we go. And new filter goes on. So this particular time, I always go with a brand name filter, but the name doesn't always stay the same. This time around, the Fram filters were most cost effective. So I go for the cheapest brand name. And again, it doesn't have to be ridiculously tight. You just want to get it on good and snug so it's not going to back off. And I will give the main oil a few more minutes to drain. We'll pick up again. All right, so we're down to just a steady drip. While I was waiting for it to do it, I have topped up the windshield washer fluid. Ironically, I borrowed the van and was going to do a little trip with it, and I topped it up. And on my trip of maybe 2 hours, I went through almost half a jug because I filled it up before I left, and I just filled it up now. I went through half a jug of windshield washer cleaner. But that is Canada, or winter in Canada anyway. This plug I cleaned up, and I had a good look at it's got a plastic gasket on it, which is just fine. And I had a good look at it, and it's not chewed up, and it seems to have lots of life left in it, which is wonderful. So I am just putting it back without changing the gasket, which I don't believe it needs. And let's see if we can tighten this plug back up. Oh, I just dipped my hand in the oil. That's not pleasant. I'm going to tighten that again after I move the oil bucket out. Being careful not to knock the oil filter over. Wow, that is full. Oh, I knocked it over anyway. Oh, come on, stand up. There we go. Okay. Now I can get on here a little better. And give it a little more oomph. I don't want to go so high that I strip threads, but I also don't want to leak. Beautiful. Okay. And that is it for under the car. Okay, so just for reference sake, I've been lying on these mats and looking underneath, and the only real concession I've made to myself for working on the ground is I did turn the wheel out mostly to get the camera in. I wouldn't have even needed to turn the wheel out, but to get the camera to have a better angle, I did do it. Oh, for anybody who's following along and wants to do this at home, it was a 13 mil socket. Let's see, where can I put this that you guys can see? How does that work? Yeah, okay. Now we're just going to add some oil. Sorry, nothing too exciting about adding oil, but here it is. Interestingly, my favorite funnel wouldn't fit. Most cars want a fairly wide mouth funnel. This one wanted a little bit narrower one. So I had to go to my second favorite funnel. As you can tell from what you can see, I am not a professional garage. This is just my home garage. The only real benefit I have over a shade tree mechanic is I got a nice concrete floor underneath me. And in Canada, I have a bit of heat in here, which makes life so much more pleasant. Again, going with my theory, only brand name, I got Pennzoil, but again, whatever was the cheapest, I have no brand loyalty whatsoever, just whatever happens to be on sale and is a reputable brand name. Let's see where we're at. I got a feeling this beast is going to take a lot of oil. I have not met a Volkswagen yet that I could not do the oil change on the ground without ramps. I have ramps, and I was going to use them, and I thought, no, I'm going to challenge myself to see if I can do it without the ramps, and in true Volkswagen style, absolutely no problem. Okay, so that's sitting at about 3/4. I'm going to top it up a little bit more, because when we start the van, some of it will go into the oil filter. Jug is almost empty anyway. Alright, what is this, 5-liter jug? Yep, 5-liter jug, and it looks like it took it all. We'll have to see if we need to add a little more to top it up after we take the van for a little run. That should be enough to go for the test run, see if there's any leaks, and then when we get back we can adjust it accordingly to get to the full. I think that's all she wrote for that bottle. Okay, so now with the oil change done, we need to reset the oil reminder. So if you bring it all the way to the on position, and you wait for the oil reminder, see in the right hand display there, right hand, see it says change oil. So if I go 1, 2, 3 on the gas pedal, turn it off, take the key completely out, wait a couple seconds, key back in, back to the on position, wait our 10 or 15 seconds, and that should have, if we're lucky, yeah, no change oil warning because the oil has been changed. All right, now we're going to start it up, and it starts up wonderfully. And I'm just going to take it for a little drive, come back, check for leaks, and that will be oil change done. Probably top it up a little because, as I said, the oil filter will fill up with oil, and that'll bring the level down a bit, and we'll just top up as required. And that is the end.